Sounds like a heated conversation. Okay, let's go to Joe in Washington. Joe, how are you?
Hello?
Hey, Joe.
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. What can we help you with today?
Okay, so I'm a former believer, and a little bit of background. My dad was the preacher, and I grew up kind of questioning everything. And at one point, going through a career change, I was looking at going into seminary and actually becoming a preacher. And that's kind of when everything fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happens.
Doing all the research and looking at the evidence, and I kind of went, yeah, this is BS.
Yeah.
So recently I came out as a questioning with my wife, because I'm like, well, you know, the atheists are coming up with better arguments than the Christians are. This is actually making more sense. And
Right.
I think once I used the A word, like everything crumbled. So there's been a bit of backlash with my family. And now it's like a battle over the kids, because I've got 4 daughters. My older ones, one of them is still a believer. The other one's like, yeah, I'm just spiritual.
Yeah.
And then I've got a 13-year-old that, like, she was mad for a while, but once I explained some things to her and why I don't get it anymore, why I don't believe, she's like, yeah, she was mad. And then now she's like, it makes sense. I get it. I get why you're there.
Okay.
But the fight is over the 5-year-old. You know, we have to protect her. We have to shield her. And now they've pushed to get her into this, overtly Christian school. And I voiced my objections, and I gave them reasons why, and not only just the cost, but like I wasn't listened to. And I'm wondering, how far should I push it? How far should I push the conversations? Because what I'm getting back when I do try to discuss it is, well, I don't have to prove anything, and trying to explain where the burden of proof really is, I get nowhere. I'm frustrated, really.
Yeah.
So that's that's it in a nutshell.
So you're concerned about your 5-year-old, and it sounds like the argument that they're using that you're an unfit parent is because you're a non-believer?
Right.
Okay.
And they know better because they believe, and they have to shield her and protect her from me so that she doesn't, so that she's not drawn away into,
Right.
heathen too.
Well,
Is this a legal battle or just an interpersonal struggle?
It's all interpersonal.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Do you have the resources to take it legal?
Or is that an option that you'd want to
option at all?
pursue?
I don't know that it would actually help. I mean, we're all still in the same house.
I see.
There's been no, yeah.
Okay.
And the struggle is I live with my mother-in-law, so we're all there.
Okay.
Sharing a house together, and it complicates a lot of things. So I don't know really if I should just keep my mouth shut or, bring up the points where I don't agree. But it just doesn't seem like it's making any difference. Like they've got their mind.
No.
Hello? You cut out for a second there.
Hello. Oh yeah.
I think
Um,
not to put words in your
yeah,
mouth, but I think
they-
you said they got their minds made up. You might have been saying that they got their minds made up.
Yeah, they've got their minds made up, and
Okay.
and it doesn't really matter what objections I have. I feel like I'm being ignored basically.
Yeah.
So
Well, ignoring it is one way to make it go away, I guess. I feel that. That's hard.
So I don't have kids.
Yeah, me
So
neither.
It's kind of talking out of just from third-hand conversations from the recovering from religion groups, kind of the group that I've been a part of for the last 4 years, talking just from what I've heard from them. And these situations, first and foremost, you're not alone. I don't know if you need to hear that or not, but this is so common with religiously mixed families like you are experiencing right now. You're not alone, and it sucks, and it's bullshit, and this is obviously more evidence the harm of what religion can do.
Yeah. It looks like he got dropped.
Oh.
Maybe his wife came in or something and he had to cut off the phone call. But hopefully he'll be able to watch this back. So yeah, I think, knowing that you're not alone, knowing that this is something that a lot of people have been going through. A lot of people have called into Talk Heathen and AXP with similar stories, with similar concerns. Honestly, without knowing the interpersonal dynamics of your family, it's very difficult for me to make a clear suggestion for a course of action. I would say that all you have to do is make sure that you are there for your daughters,
Right.
and that you are being a good person and being a person that they can look up to regardless of what your beliefs are. If at the very least, if your daughter gets put into this religious school, which really shouldn't be able to happen without your consent, if somehow your daughters do get raised religious, at the very least, they will be able to point to somebody in their life who they love, who they care about, who they know is a good person, who doesn't share their faith. And that's going to put them miles ahead of many, many other Christians who grew up being told horror stories about atheists and stories about how they can't be moral and how they can't love people. So right away, just your presence in their life and you being there and you being a supportive and good father is going to keep that door open for them to start questioning other things that they're told. Because if they're in church one day and the pastor or a congregation member says atheists are terrible people and they can't love anybody, blah, 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 they're going to think that's not true. I have objective evidence that that isn't true. What else might not be true? And that's honestly the first step towards them coming into their own as people who are skeptical thinkers.
And almost, it seems to me like it would go towards play it safe. You're not going to get any extra reward in the afterlife if you are an out there atheist. If your priority, which it sounds like, is your children, then do what you can. Even I don't have kids, but if I had a 5-year-old and if I was in his situation, I'd freaking go to church to sit next to my 5-year-old. I'd volunteer to do something at the Sunday school or something. I mean, I'd hate it, sure, but at least I'd get to spend time with my 5-year-old. But his in some sense his well-being is affected by living with his mother-in-law and the whole family being in that under that one roof. You're not going to get any extra bonus points at the end of your life for being a good atheist. This is your only life that you've got. Do what you can to make your priorities and focus on them, and just love your kids as the best as you can.
Right. Nobody should or will most likely look at your children and say, "Oh, you let them be religious. How dare you?" That's not something you need to worry about. In fact, I have concern for parents who raise their kids to be atheists only and to ridicule other ways of thinking. You have this opportunity to take these kids who would otherwise be raised Christian anyway and give them a different perspective and give them acceptance and the idea that they can ask questions and they can doubt and they can come to you with any questions that they've got and be heard and be listened to and not be shamed for asking them. So you are in a really, I know it sucks, and I can't imagine being put in that position because I'd be furious as hell if my 5-year-old was being taught things that I didn't believe and thought was harmful. But if you take a step back, it is a beneficial position for them. They are going to benefit from you being in their life.
And that's not to say for you to personally bottle up everything that you have to say. You need to find an outlet. You absolutely need to find an outlet, whether it's a secular community or one of the recovering from religion groups, or even calling in the hotline or on the online chat. Talk with someone about this as well. Get this out. Don't let it all bottle up and back up in your head. But find that balance. Get out what you need to get out, but don't get it out on your family, or definitely don't get it out on your kids.
Yeah. I hope that helped. And thank you for calling in. If you want to call back next week, we'd be happy to talk to you.